Good evening. Welcome to Vibin with Ashley Live. I'm your host, Ashley Live. Thank you guys for joining me on this Saturday evening. So excited for this evening's guest. The incredibly talented singer, songwriter Alyssa Crosby is joining me on my show this evening. Alyssa is a powerful performer whose love for music began at an early age, inspired by her parents' karaoke business. After 8 years of determination, she earned a spot as a contestant on season 25 of The Voice, where she was part of Team Reba and Team Chance. Alyssa fronts the band Wildcard and Grown Ups and is striving to make music her full-time career. So let's get this party started because Alyssa is in the house and I'm excited. Let's do it. Hi,
Hi.
Alyssa.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to figure out how to stream this to my pages. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm so sorry.
No. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. I think it is streaming, and if not, they could just come on over to YouTube because we did post it on YouTube.
Okay. Cool.
And I did have it on Facebook, so we should be able to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think I've got one. I've got one going.
It actually, you know what happened? Something popped up and it said some destinations won't get to comment. So I believe that if people are on Instagram and Facebook, unfortunately they can't comment. But if you do want to comment, you can come on over and join us on YouTube.
Got you. No, that's great. It's great. I'm gonna try to add my. It says I need a stream key, so I don't know if that's gonna happen.
All good, no worries. But we are live, and there are people in the room with us. So thank you so much for joining me, Alyssa. I am so excited to dig more into your time on The Voice and your incredible musical career.
Thanks. Thank you.
Of course. So I just want to start with something I said when I was introducing you. You auditioned for The Voice 6 times over the last 8 years. So I just need people to listen to this 6 times over 8 years. That is a lot of determination, a lot of grit, a lot of rejection. So I want to talk about what kept you motivated through that journey.
So I auditioned in person a few times and then COVID hit. And then of course, all of that went virtual, but the few times that I did it in person, I had to get to the city and that, cause they only did it in large cities. So I had to go all the way out there and go do my thing and get rejected. Yeah. And there was just some little voice that kept telling me you know what? I felt like it was going to happen. I felt like it was going to happen someday. I'd watch the show every season. And every time I'd watch them on the stages, I'm like, I know that I belong up there. I know I'm going to have my moment. And I was like, just keep trying to get better, keep, working with yourself and just, I just didn't want to give up because I felt like when the time was right, it was going to happen for me.
Yeah. And I love that you had that little voice in your head. And I feel like sometimes people hear the first no and they get really down on themselves. So were you really upset the first 2 times it happened and you heard that no?
It's definitely painful. I mean, I think every time anybody says no to you, it sucks, it hurts. But you have to just keep persevering and moving forward. And one of the things we learn in life is not to take things personally. It's a business essentially. At the end of the day, they're filming a TV show, so it's not personal. It's business, and all that means is that you have another opportunity the next time it comes around. And I think it's really important to keep trying when somebody tells you no, because you can only get better. You can only keep practicing and getting better. And I think it makes you stronger when you keep coming back and fighting back when they tell you that you can't do it. So, and they always give you the spiel of just come back again next season. And I always took it seriously. I'm like, all right, I'll see you. I'll be back.
I'm going to be here. You remember me, okay? You're going to keep seeing me over and over. Did they say, oh my gosh, we remember you?
No. Oh. They don't. They have tens of thousands of people that audition every season. They don't remember. But at the same time, it's actually funny, the story of how I ended up on this last season. So when you do the virtual auditions,
Mhm.
typically you get a call back or a not call back within about an hour or two. When you send your video in, they tell you pretty quickly if you've gotten a call back. Well, there was only one other time I'd gotten a call back. I almost made it on the show 2 years prior and I didn't.
Mhm.
Um, but then this time around, I never got an email back saying whether I made it or not. And days had gone by and days had gone by, and I'm like, this is really abnormal because they've sent me rejection emails pretty quickly, like
Mhm.
every time. So I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to reach out to their production and I'm going to send them an email and just be like, hey, listen, I never got a response. I just want to know if it's like a yes or no. And
Mhm.
minutes later, after I sent that email, they gave me my call back. So I was like, oh my gosh, what if I had never said anything? I
Yeah.
may never have even, they might have just overlooked me and just completely forgot to say yes or no. And I was like, if I didn't say anything, they might not have I might not have been on the show. So
Wow.
yeah. Yep. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, baby.
I think that's so important for people to hear, whether you're auditioning for a show or just in life in general. You're gonna get no's, you're gonna get people who reject you in multiple facets of your life, and you just gotta keep pushing forward. And if something is meant for you, it will eventually happen. 8 years, 6 times down the line, like that
Yeah.
is so amazing. And I definitely feel like people need to hear that. Like we all need to be reminded of just how hard we need to push for certain things that we want in life. And because that voice in your head was telling you you needed to be on this show, like you had to be on the show. And then you got the opportunity.
Yes.
so
And it was
so tell me how it felt to finally land on the show after all this time.
So I got a phone. So the audition process is really long and stressful because
Yeah.
you send in videos like time and time again. You do interviews, you do paperwork, you do psych evaluations, blah 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 blah, and then you're
Yeah.
like silence. You get like radio silence for months. So they're like, we're gonna make a decision. We'll get back to you in like 3 months, so you won't hear anything from us. So you're just sitting there like waiting. I was counting down the seconds because they're like, this is about the time frame you'd hear back from us. And I was
Mhm.
just counting down the seconds. I'm like, I need to hear, I need to hear. I just felt I was like, but I feel good about it. I know it's gonna happen. And I ended up getting a phone call. I was super sick. I had just taken like 2 doses of Robitussin because
Oh
I
my
was
God.
so sick. I had gone home from work and I was like, I need to just lay down and go to sleep. And I got a phone call right after the Robitussin kicked in, and it was an LA number. And I'm like, this is it. This is the call.
Right
I'm
now.
on the couch, like half dead. And I answered, and she told me I was going to LA. And I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, aren't you more excited? And I'm like, I really am so excited. I'm like, I'm really, really sick.
I'm
I'm
just
like,
like doped up.
I'm really doped up. I just took a bunch of cold medicine. I'm like, I'm so excited. I really, really am. Like, I really am. But it was the best feeling in the world, even though I was very sick, to get that call. And wow, and then I had a few more months to wait before I even went out there, and I counted down the minutes. I was so excited just to get out there. I was so excited more than anything to just meet all of the other contestants. I was so, so excited for that. I was like, I'm gonna make all these new friends and I can't wait. And like, we're all just gonna have so much fun. And I was like, I felt like I was going to summer camp.
I love that. I definitely think when you're on a show like this and you're all in the hotel together and you're all practicing together and you have these battles and these knockout rounds, right? You get to know the other contestants so well because you're all fighting for this one spot to be crowned the winner, but you're all learning from each other. You're all making these friendships and collaborations, and these are friends that they're going to be friends with you forever and ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's so funny because I don't think anybody gets on this show with the intention of winning the show.
Yeah.
I think everybody gets on the show with this desire to just make it past another round. Like you just have
Right.
this fire, like get past another round because you just love being out there and you love the experience of it. And you just don't want it to end. Like you don't want to not get to see your friends every day. You don't want it, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to stop having the experience of being out there and feeling special and having this unique experience. And I think everybody goes in with the intention of, I just got to make it past another round so I can stay here. So I can like stay
Yeah.
in this moment and be here. And, you know, if you do win, it's so awesome. But I don't think anybody really goes out with the intention of like, I'm going to win the voice. I think they just go out with the intention of, I just want this experience.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess I'm just speaking for myself, but from what I've heard from all of the people that I do know, we all are kind of in that mental state. Like, I just want to make it another round because I don't want to miss out on, I don't want to have the FOMO of not being here. You know, I don't want to miss out on all the fun stuff.
Yeah. That's a very interesting point though, because I would think everybody would want to win the show, but I think you have all these fun little experiences through the show that you're right. You're like, I just want to make it another round because like I want to see all the people I love compete. Like I want to see us all sing, you know, other songs and compete with each other and like just get to be a part of the rehearsing because right then you have like these mega mentors and then if you make it towards the end of the show, you get to sing on stage with your coach, which is pretty rad.
I know. I'm
Right?
like, that is like the cool. That's gotta feel so cool and so amazing. Honestly, if I got to sing on stage with Reba or Chance the Rapper, I probably would have passed away on stage.
Yeah.
No, but it's an incredible experience. Honestly, I think every single person could agree that even when we get eliminated, we like a little piece of us wishes we could stay there because we just want to watch the experience. Like we just
Yeah.
want to still be a part of it, even
Right.
though it's like, all right, we're out of the game, but like you just want to see everything that's happening because it's just so special and unique and so different. And just the whole process of how everything goes on behind the scenes and the rehearsals and the band you get to work with, like they're just amazing, 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 talented musicians. And it really truly is such a unique experience where you just get, you know, world class treatment and you get to work with amazing people and you get to be surrounded by a ton of other people that are also just like, whoa, this is so cool.
And you look to your left and your right and you're like, this is pretty insane. This is happening. Because you're able to, it's not just like you by yourself, you're with all these other people from
Oh, yeah.
different backgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
And you're just, this is pretty amazing. Like, pinch me.
Oh yeah, it is amazing, and we're all in awe of it. You know, we spend a lot of time talking to each other and you know coaching each other behind the
Mhm.
scenes because we're all we really have. I mean, they make it seem like you have these you know intense relationships built with your coaches, but like really your coaches are your friends that are at the hotel at the end of the day when you've had like a long day and you're feeling like down about yourself. Your friends are coaching you, like you're coaching each other, you're pumping each other up and we're all working together on our songs and things like that. So truly the most important part are the people that you're surrounded with at the end of the day at your hotel. You know, it's those are the people that are helping you through every single day. So yeah.
Definitely. hmm So let's bring it back to the day of the blind audition where you performed "Hand in My Pocket" by Alanis Morissette. So, like, I know this was a while ago because your season is no longer on the air, but talk about like what was that day like for you? What was going on in your head? Did you do any like rituals or anything?
Uh oh God, rituals. Okay, so I'll take you through the whole day. I woke up that morning. No wait, the night before my blind audition. I was closing my curtain in my hotel room and a piece of dust fell into my eyeball. No joke. Into my eyeball the day before our blind auditions were filming. And I had my whole eye swelled up. Like it
Wow.
was crazy. Swelled up. I was FaceTiming with my mom and my fiance who are at a hotel like 45 minutes away. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to do. My whole entire eye is huge, and I have to be on TV tomorrow and sing a song in front of all of these people. And I'm like freaking out. My mom is freaking out. She's like, Alyssa, what did you do? Oh my God, you're gonna be on TV in your eye. And so I had to like postmates myself like eye drops and all this great. So that was the preparation
Oh my gosh.
obviously the night before. So yeah. So anyways, thankfully I woke up and my eye looked a lot better. It was all good, like Benadryl. I think I got the dust bunny out of my eyeball. But that was a fun, like night before.
Wow.
And then I woke
Talk
up in
about
the
blind audition. You were technically blind.
I was like,
That's
this
but that's wild though, because you think of like dust and then you think of like where it could have ended anywhere in your body, but it's like right
I
here.
had been there for freaking weeks, dude. And I'm like, I've closed and opened this curtain so many times. Why is the dust falling in my eye right now? So, anyways, the next morning I woke up, I went to the gym and I was like, if I run on the treadmill, like my lungs will open up and I'll be able to sing better than ever. And honestly, I just tried to do like I tried to make a ritual for myself and like run on the treadmill and drink a ton of water. And then, you're peeing all day long. And it's honestly the longest day of your life. They put you in like this holding area and it's just, you could try to prepare all you want, but unless you're like a master, what am I thinking? Like, meditator. Sorry, I totally forgot the word for
No, you're
meditator.
fine. You're good.
Unless you're like a master meditator, like it's impossible to not be just freaking out and the whole time is just you're just out of your body the entire time. You're all just kind of like looking around like when's my time? When's my time? When's my time? And it's a scary feeling because the way that it's filmed over a few different days. So depending on where you are and the lineups of days, the teams could be full and you could just be waiting there and you might never get a chance to get on stage. And you're also like, okay, who got a chair turn? Who didn't? And like everybody's trying to communicate with each other and they don't want you to. They don't want anybody telling each other what's going on because they don't want people being freaked out.
Yeah, totally.
And they want you going into it totally blind. And it's a definitely a freaky experience, but to get on that stage, it was an out of body experience. I had, I stared at everything around me except for those chairs. I'm like, look at the lights, look at this, look at that. You've sang this song a million times just to get through the song, and you hear everybody's audition and everybody is not their best. It's everybody's nervous. You hear the shakiness in everybody's voice because it is a scary experience. You could be the best singer in the world and you put them on a stage like that and have them be judged by these people that are like incredible musicians, world renowned. It's horrifying. It's horrifying.
Yeah, so you're up there. You see Reba turn at like the very last minute. Did you see her turn? Because she turned like at the very end.
Oh, at the very end. Very end. I did. It took me a second because so the sound also is post-production, so you don't hear it go. So it's when you're not looking, you don't know. But I finally saw her turn around. But I made peace. I was like, all right, I'm not getting a chair turn. I'm not getting a chair turn. And that's fine. And you're trying to just talk yourself out of it. Like, all right, how do I talk to these guys? They've all rejected me. Like, this sucks. But then she turned around and I was like, I get to come back and see my friends again.
Another day.
Another day. That's literally what it is. You're like fighting for each day. Each day you're just like, all right, I made it another day. I'm alive. I woke up again. Great.
So you get the chair turn by Reba. Talk to me about how it was working with her and getting that advice on, how to be a better singer.
She is genuinely so nice. She's such a nice person. Like, it's not even just a fake thing. Like, she really, truly is so kind and she's so fierce and strong, but she's so gentle at the same time, if that even makes sense. She's like a walking contradiction, but she's amazing. And a couple of the notes she gave me, she was like, I want you to look at me. She's like, you're closing your eyes too much. I want you to look in my eyes and sing to me, which was, I don't know if anybody else has had to sing into Reba McEntire's eyes, but it is
very few.
Very, very scary, very scary experience, but also really cool. She's got beautiful eyes. But it's scary, especially when you're like in this moment and you're like, I'm just trying to feel the song. I just want to like get into the song, and you have to look into her eyes, and it's horrifying. But she taught me a lot, and she was very adamant about my stage presence. And she's like, I really need you to stop dancing. They didn't air that. She's like, you dance too much and you're distracting. And I was like, okay. And so to everybody watching that's ever been to one of my shows, all I do is dance around like a crazy person. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what do I do then? Because that's
Yeah.
all I ever do is dance around. So she was like, you need to stand with conviction and look in the audience in the eyes. And I took that advice and I took it with me through the next round after that too. So
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, but it was so cool working with her and she's so kind. I mean, it was my only time getting to work with her, but she popped up backstage and gave us all a big hug and made us all feel, like we were just, we're all normal people and she makes everybody feel really comfortable. So she was
Mhm.
very cool. She's
Yeah,
very cool.
she seems like such a genuine person. I think when she talks to the other coaches and, just the contestants on the show, she just seems like such a genuine, good-hearted, like Southern person.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And when I was out there, I did a lot of homework on her and I read her autobiography while I was out there because I was like, I want to know everything about Mama Reba.
Yeah.
And it was really interesting. She really truly came from nothing and she built this whole life for herself and she's another example of persevering and she truly is an amazing person, really. And she knows what it's like to be dirt poor and she knows what it's like to have everything. So she's gone through it all and she deserves everything she's ever worked for. And I think that's a lot of where her humbleness and her kindness comes from. But she
Right.
also is incredibly strong. She's a strong woman. She's not somebody that is nice in the form of weakness. She's kind and she is also a force to be reckoned with and she won't take crap from anybody.
Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
that about her.
All amazing qualities to have. Because right when you're too kind, sometimes people take advantage of you. But I know she would kick someone in the butt if they were
Oh,
try
yeah.
to cross her. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. She comes
Team
from
Reba.
a lot of she comes from a big rodeo background and,
Yeah.
cattle farming and all of that fun stuff. So she's tough. She's a tough woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like if we put her in a match with some of the other judges, she would come out on top.
100%.
Like hands down.
Oh, 100%.
Don't tell the other judges though, okay?
I mean, it's fine. They didn't turn around for me, so
Yeah.
they're allowed to hear that. They're allowed to hear that. Team Reba.
Love that. So you mentioned that one of your favorite moments on the show was performing We Don't Need Another Hero during the battles with Asher Pavan. Talk to me about what made that experience so special for you.
Oh, he and I instantly connected as friends, and it was one of those, like, really random pairings. We were we were on our way down the elevator that morning to, go to our meeting where we were figuring out who our partners were, and him and I looked at each other like, "Watch us get paired." Like, I just have this weird feeling, and it ended up being the 2 of us because we didn't expect it, but we're, like, of course, trying to expect the unexpected.
Right.
And it was just like oh my God, okay. And then we were like given a Tina Turner song, and I was like, wow, I just went from an Alanis Morissette song to a Tina Turner song. Like they're really putting some pressure on me, and
Mhm.
they're pairing me with Asher. So I was really intimidated and really scared. But the one thing that I loved about performing with him is we just had a great chemistry and we became great friends instantly. We had so much fun with each other and we laughed so much. And it just made it feel less like a scary experience and more just like I was up on stage singing with my friend.
Mhm.
And I think the battles are really fun when you connect with the person that you're up there with because it just makes it feel safer and more fun. And it's like you can always just look at them and you don't feel alone and afraid. And I just connected so well with him. And we had developed a very good friendship. So it was really comforting up there, and we kind of just let all of our inhibitions go and got on stage and had a great time, and that was really special. And it was great to know that he was intimidated by me because I was incredibly intimidated by him. So I'm like, okay, you're crazy, but thank you. That's such a huge compliment.
Aw.
But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of
Mhm.
fun.
And that's beautiful that you guys were paired, right? Expect the unexpected. But you had this instant chemistry, right? And that's, I mean, yeah, you're friends with a lot of people on the show, but it's got to be so cool when you're paired with someone and you feel like you've known them for such a long time. You're like, this is just genuinely so fun. And I love doing this. And to know that you had such a incredible friendship that developed because of this is so amazing.
Yeah, it really, it was very special. I mean, the people that I did develop all these, I mean, to be honest, everybody just loved each other and got along so well. And we joke and call it like trauma bonding because we're all in this crazy, weird, traumatic experience together. We're like, okay, like this is not normal life. This isn't real life, and it's a whole new experience. So we call it trauma bonding when we all just, because everybody falls in love with each other so instantly, and everybody connects because we're like looking for that connection with everybody. We're like, okay, common ground. We need to find common ground with other people so that we feel like we're not in this alone. And it takes the stress off when you have everybody just connecting like that. And I think it's just like a normal human reaction.
Totally. And it's got to be like going to summer camp, right?
Yeah.
Because you're sharing this incredible experience, but with people like you, with singer-songwriters from all across the country. It's got to be so wild because you're like, I never would have met most of these people if it wasn't for the show.
I know. I feel like everything happens in the right timing, and I feel so happy that I was on this season. I mean, I probably would have had made great friends in other seasons too, but I just connected so much. I had my best friends out there that I still, talk to all the time. And, we got each other through all of the doubting ourselves and the good times and the bad times. And I just think that the connections I made with these specific people were really special. And I'm very grateful that I got to meet them, and that I'm still, we're still in each other's lives every day. So I think it's truly special. It really is. And like I said, one of the things I was so excited about when I got to do this show is I was just so excited to meet all these like-minded people and make all these connections from people all over the world. And that was really special to me. And I was like, I'm going to have music everywhere I go for the rest of my life. No matter where I go, I have somebody I can call up and say, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Like, let's do some music. And that's the coolest feeling ever. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I feel like sometimes it's hard to meet creative people, but when you have so many people from the show, not even just your season, but other seasons, right? Like I've heard that people from other seasons reach out to the newer contestants. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. As I'm sure I will reach out to people too on future seasons. Even on past seasons, like I'll reach out to people and be like, hey, I was just on season 25 and I know you were in season blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I really loved you and you inspired me and kept me going and kept me wanting to keep auditioning. And, you were one of my favorites on that season. And, a lot of these people actually like know my friends that I made. Like Nashville is, that's the one thing is like, I've only been in Nashville one time and it was after we filmed. I went in February to see a bunch of our voice friends. And a lot of those people in Nashville have been on The Voice.
Yeah.
A lot of them have been on The Voice. So, they all kind of know each other, and it's a whole little world out there. And but that's really cool. So I get like starstruck when I see people from other seasons and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I watched you on TV.
I feel like we're all that way though.
I know. And I'm like, I was on the same show as you, but I'm like, but I loved you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And I get so excited. And I'm like, we literally did the same thing, but I'm like, I get so excited and I don't care.
But that's so cool though, because I feel like, especially as a musician, right? You love when people come up to you and just they're like, that performance was amazing. I love the way you sang that song. It really touched me. Just the way I'm going through something difficult, and like your music and your perseverance and everything that you're going through and the stories that you're telling are really keeping me going, right? Like how does that feel when you're on the receiving end of that?
I think, it feels good always, because you as a musician, you put your heart and soul and your feelings into a song or a performance. And when people can receive it in the way that you are kind of shelling it out to them and exposing yourself like that to people, and people connect with it, and you can make people feel anything that you're feeling, or bring up a memory, or bring up, anything in their life that they're dealing with, and make them feel less alone. I think that's incredibly special. And it's a special language that musicians and artists can speak to other people. It's like a special code. And it's like a telepathic connection that you can create with people. And it's incredibly special, especially when you work so hard on something, like you put your heart and soul into writing something and performing something, and you're putting yourself in a very vulnerable position, getting on a stage in front of people and singing something that you like, either you wrote it or you didn't write it, but you're giving your heart and soul to people, and you're giving them a very vulnerable side of you, because that's a scary thing to do. Like, not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to do that. And I think it's special when you can connect with people through that. It is very special, and it's a rewarding feeling, very, very much so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's so powerful, just as a massive fan of so many musicians, just to know what they've got me through, or if I'm able to speak to them or leave a comment, like, you changed my life, or you helped me through this part of my life. And like, for the people that respond back, they're just like, well, thank you so much. Like, that's, that I needed to hear that today. Today's a bad day for me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No. So my blind audition song, I did Hand in My Pocket.
Mhm.
And so one of my favorite singers is Rozzy, and which not a lot of people know who she is. A lot of people out west know who she is, but she's incredible. I've been following her on YouTube for 10 years. And when I first got that song, when they told me that's the song I was going to do, she had just released her own version of that song, like recently, like 3 months prior. And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like the universe kind of gave me a Rozzy song without giving me a Rozzy song. And I'm like, I can make it kind of like similar and give her that same vibe that she gave, because she's got this very soulful sound to her. And I'm so inspired by her voice and her music. She's so cool. And I reached out to her after the show aired, and I was like, hey, I just auditioned for The Voice and blah, 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 blah. And I wanted to share with you, like, this kind of was, I did this song in a way that was inspired by your rendition of it. I was like, you probably won't even get my message. It's totally fine. But she read it and she watched it and she was like, wow, that was so awesome. And made me feel so good, because she's like such a huge inspiration to me. But she's one of those people, like, I've seen her live before, and I cry. She's one of those people I connect with how she performs and interprets her soul to people. And between her and Grace Potter, I have cried when I watch them live. So those are my two, like, people that just, I feel them in my soul when they sing, and it's so awesome. So I hope that I do that for people too. At least maybe even one or two. That'd be nice.
Well, you definitely do. I think that's so powerful that she read the message and she watched and she responded, because right, you love her, like, she's such an inspiration to you, and I just like, I could only imagine what that made you feel like.
It made me feel good, except for, you know what? It's so funny, because that was not my best performance. I was not super proud of that performance at all. But I was like, this is my one chance to get her to like see my thing. And I'm like, I inspired by you. And I hope she wasn't like, oh, that was good. Like, how'd you get on this show? That was awful. No, she was so nice about it. And I'm like, I don't even care what she actually secretly thinks about it. She watched it and she saw me sing it. So that makes me feel good and whatever. But it was definitely not my proudest performance. But I was excited that she even took the time to see it, because she's busy. I totally get it. I'm on a way lower scale than her, and I'm busy. And sometimes I don't get around to reading things and watching things that people ask me to. So it was really cool for her to do that.
Yeah, such a fun moment for you to have. And it's so cool, because I feel like when you're on a show like The Voice, or you're on one of those other shows, that people are able to see you in a different light. Like, I feel like on some of those shows, if you sing a specific song, someone's like, oh my God, that was so cool. I love that performance. And so like, you're on a show like The Voice or America's Got Talent or American Idol, right? It's kind of like, you never know who's going to see that, because so many people watch that show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You just never know. You really don't. It's so funny. So one of my friends on the show, Danny, she had Jennifer Coolidge started following her on
Amazing.
Instagram after her audition. And she's like, oh my God, Jennifer Coolidge is following me. And that was like the most random thing ever, but it was so cool. And I'm like, that's so exciting. Like you
That's
just you
amazing.
really don't know who's watching. You really don't. And it's so cool. It's so neat because there are a lot of people watching, like 7 million people watch The Voice. That's
Yeah.
so neat. That's a lot more people than I get to watch me in my area. So I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know who those 7 million people are, but hopefully they like me a little bit. I don't know,
Yeah.
probably some, but whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
speaking of liking you, Melissa just wrote a comment that I don't know if you saw this, but I'm just gonna say it out loud. Alyssa, I've cried seeing you perform. You're nothing short of amazing, and we are all
Aw,
incredibly proud of you, Melissa. Thank you for sharing that. That's so sweet.
thank you. I love my community. I really do. Like truly. I living up in upstate New York, people knock down our city so much, but it's truly such a special place. And I've had such a different response from the show than I know a lot of my friends have. So like my friends that do live in Nashville, they had a different response from being on the show because they're in an area where so many people were on the show. So to them, I don't think that they got that, like, they didn't feel as special as they should have felt.
Yeah.
And when I came home to my area and like the show aired, my whole community just made me feel so special and important. And I was like, this is so great. I'm like, I'm sure everybody feels this way. And like, I went to Nashville and they're like, everybody's been on the show. So like,
Oversaturated. Yeah, like the whole
so they're
town.
like, nobody really cares. And I'm like, that makes me sad because
Yeah.
it's so different up here. That's why I was like, when I did my event here in June, or well, not in June, in August, I wanted my friends here because I was like, you're gonna see how like special you are. Like everybody loves you and watched you, and they like want to watch you perform here. And like to them, like in my area, like this is a very special and important thing.
Definitely.
So I was like, I want you guys to feel
Yeah,
that.
no, I think it's important, right? Because some people are from big cities, some
Yeah,
people are from very small cities. So you are from Binghamton, New York,
yeah.
and I just want to tell you on the record, I think one of the coolest things to ever happen from any season of The Voice is you putting together a huge show in Binghamton with a good amount of the people from your season. Like when I heard that, I was like, why do the other seasons not do this? So when I had met you a couple weeks ago and you were like, yeah, I like spearheaded the whole thing. I was like, yes, this needs to happen more.
So it all started with the show aired and I was like, you know what? I really truly just wanted to do a show with my friends. I was like, how do I get my friends into my area and do a show? I was like, should I find like a bar that they could all play at or whatever? And I was like, you know what? I want to play with my friends so bad that I'm just going to like stress myself out for 3 months and raise money from my local sponsors and just put on a whole big shebang and just make it crazy. I was like, I really love a good challenge. So I'm really just going to challenge myself here, really see what kind of chops I got. And I did. And you know what? I was so inspired by it. I was like, for the first year, we completely broke even, which was like absolutely an incredible feat because people are like, you could be negative, like you never know. You're like really putting yourself on the line. And I was like, you know what? If that's the risk you take to dream and whatever, then fine. Okay, that's fine. Because if I'm too afraid to do something, it's never gonna happen. So that's where my like crazy unrealistic dreamer side comes in. I am very much that person, like La La Land, but I think it's important sometimes to live in La La Land because that's how things change and move and get done and exciting things happen. And I'm like, I'll be your crazy La La Land lady, Binghamton, and I will start trying to do some fun things and risk it all for you because I feel like my city is worth it to have something fun and exciting here. And like if I could find a way to put Binghamton on the map, like I want to do it. And so they deserve a fun, awesome show. And I was like, I really wanted my friends here and I wanted them to have a really fun, awesome show and feel special and important. And I'm like, I feel like I succeeded in all of that. And it was really, really neat. And I learned a lot about myself personally. And I was like really, really, really inspired after I did that. So now I've taken that and I'm trying to actually brand it and create more events in my area. And I've been having a lot of meetings and I've connected with so many people in my local community and businesses and like our chamber of commerce and our city. And I'm like, let's do more. I want to bring bigger acts here. Like let's get these businesses that are failing and get people in there and let's get people coming to Binghamton as a destination and sleeping in our hotels and eating at our restaurants and like let's get this place booming because it deserves it. It's a special, special place. And I'm like, I really want to, and I want to find my space here too. And I love performing. It's not the most lucrative job in the world. But I still love performing. I'll perform forever. But I'm like, I need to find a space for myself where I'm happy and I'm passionate, but I'm also giving back to my community at the same time. So that's kind of where my head's at. So it kind of inspired me to like snowball through like these new ideas that I've had.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that and dreaming big. Cause right, you're like, oh, should we just be at a bar? Right. But that's kind of easy, right? But you're like, no, we're gonna like do it big because like
Yeah.
I'm behind this. I'm doing the whole thing and I'm so had an incredible turnout. That's amazing. Congrats.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Of course. So I want to talk about something that happened in June. Asher invited you to perform with him at his show in Selma, Alabama. Let's talk about that because that was the first time you had seen him since you were last on the show.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
he won the show. He won the show, and then he invited you and said, "Hey, come on down to Selma and help me
I
out with this show."
I felt like the belle of the ball. I was like, "You want me? You want me to come down? Like you just won. Oh my gosh." So, yeah, he called me out of the blue one day and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing this day? It's like 2 weeks from now, but like what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Why?" And like, "It depends. Like, what do you got for me?" And he's like, I know it's really short notice, but I really want you to come here to Selma and I want to sing our song together." And I was like, "Done." And I literally canceled my whole weekend and I was like, let's go. So I told my fiance, I was like, we're going to Alabama. I hope you don't have anything going on. So I hope you're prepared. And we went down to Alabama and we went for like 2 days. He and I went, Dan and I went on a little adventure around Alabama and saw really cool historical stuff. We got to hang out with Asher and kind of see him in his element. And that was really fun and cool. And we got to go to his big homecoming show and it was super special. And he really is. He really lights people's hearts up. He really does. He's very special.
And I'm glad that you were able to have such a fun, reunion with him. So I have to ask because that battle song that you guys did together was amazing. Are you going to record this and put it out?
You know, a lot of people have asked me that, and I really would love to. I really would. And that's something we've discussed. But I just think he has a lot going on in his life right now.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future, that's something that we'll do because people really do love that song. I mean, honestly, I didn't expect it to get such a high amount of views and feedback like that. We were just having fun doing what we had to do, but people loved it so much and it was so fun to do. I would sing that song a million. I catch myself singing it in the shower all the time. Like
Yeah.
it still pops in my head. I'm like, we don't need a love hero. And
Yeah.
it's a catchy song. But yeah, I would love to record that song and put it out and see what happens.
Oh, we're hoping that you guys get in the studio and it gets released.
We still get views on it on Instagram all the time. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, every day I get a notification. So and so liked your video. So and so liked your video. I'm like, wow, like this is incredible. Like there's a lot of traction on this video. So hey, I mean, I would love to do that. That's definitely something that we've talked about. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Good stuff. I am sending the positive vibes, and I'm hoping that this comes to fruition soon. So I want to talk about your band, Wildcard and Grown Ups. Talk to me about the influence that being in a band has in your life.
Oh my, okay. So I grew up, my mom and dad had a karaoke business when I was a little kid. So I learned to love performing at a very early age. I got into like theater and all sorts of things when I got into high school, and I loved being on stage, and I loved having a microphone in my hand. It was the best. And as I got older, I got into my 20s, and I was like, I think I want to be in a band. I was like, I think I can do that. So I auditioned for my first band ever when I was 21. I got the gig and I was so pumped. And let me tell you, I was not very good. I was like, this is a whole new world, performing on a stage for people and singing songs and like trying to be this like vibrant character. And it's a really big learning thing. Like performing, it's natural, but it's also really scary. So you have a natural ability, but a lot of your fear can hold you back. So you have to really be comfortable in your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And as the years went on, I started my own band, Wildcard, which I'm still in. And it's been about 8 or 9 years now. And it's just my fun little cover band, a bunch of like a couple of like my parents' friends that I sing with. And I'm the front woman. And I really didn't start feeling comfortable in my skin until a few years ago. I actually quit drinking alcohol, and my whole life changed. And I was in a very bad place where I really didn't love myself very much, and I wasn't comfortable with who I was. And it took kind of me to this place where I'm like, I need to make a decision, and I need to like feel healthier mentally and physically. And I decided just to give it up. And ever since then, I've developed a really strong relationship with myself and the people around me. And my performances got so much better. I fell in love with being on a stage again. And I got to this point where I'm like, I don't care what people think about me anymore. And I really like performing, and I really like getting up there and being silly and just kind of being myself. And it changed my whole life, and it changed my whole relationship with myself and my ability to perform. So yeah, and Wildcard just took off from there, and people love us around here, and we have great gigs and a great following, and awesome people in our community that love to come watch us and support us. And then I met the guys in Grown Ups about 3 years ago, randomly. And they were like, we're kind of looking for a female singer to do some of these songs. They had already been established. And I was like, okay, cool. So they're like, you have the perfect voice for what we're trying to do. And I ended up meeting up with them, and it all kind of happened from there. And we wrote some original songs together, and they really helped me flourish as an artist in a special way. Like they taught me that I was capable of writing music and doing a whole different style of stuff that really was in my wheelhouse. And I am forever grateful for them. And they're so fun. They're a 9-piece band. We got horns and auxiliary percussion and, the whole 9 yards. And I just love playing with them. And they make me feel like I'm having a party every time I get to sing with them. So
I love that. I love that you have these two bands, right? And it's just like you're able to collaborate with them and just fully be yourself. And congrats on your sobriety.
Thank you.
It's a huge step to take. And I'm happy that you're flourishing and mind, body, and spirit. I mean, I think it's such a powerful thing when you just are able to get in touch with yourself on such a deeper level. So kudos to you, and I'm glad that the bands are doing well and you're just having a fun time. You're just having a party.
I'm just going with the flow. I'm just going with the flow. Wherever the music takes me, that's where I'm going.
That's the way, you know what? That's the way to live life, whether you're a musician or you're not. You just got to go with the flow and let the music take you, because the music will kind of guide you in the right direction. But if you are a creative and you are a musician, singer, songwriter, it will take you farther.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, music is important even if you're not a musician. I think it's the soundtrack of life. You need music. It's what validates your feelings when you're not sure. It always puts you in the right mood and in the right mindset. It helps answer questions when you can't find them. So I love music always. It always tells you what you need to know.
I love that. It's so powerful. It can get you through the best and the darkest times of your life. There is music for every every season of your life, and I love it. It's just listening to music, hearing music live, singing, songwriting. It's just so powerful.
Absolutely. I agree. 100%.
Hmm.
100%.
So, looking back on your life and your career, what do you think has been the most challenging part of your journey so far?
The most challenging part of my journey has been probably um, learning uh, kind of my style of music and finding my own voice.
Hmm.
I think that has always been my challenge because I'm a karaoke girl at heart, and you get mimicky, and you listen to these artists, and you kind of end up like kind of getting some of their styles in your own sound. And I think as an artist, it's challenging to find your sound that makes you unique and special. But I think that's something that I've started learning in the last few years is what my style is. And I love a lot of like the rock soul thing and
Hmm.
just finding my own voice and not mimicking other artists. I think that is always a challenge. But I think that's a big thing. And also just upping my performance game and making people excited to come to shows and writing music and being vulnerable. I think that's a big thing too, is a huge part of writing music is just being a vulnerable person and letting your thoughts and feelings come out, and also just being a good storyteller. I love writing because I like to tell stories. So even if the song isn't a personal experience of mine, I love to just make things up and pretend like I'm a different person and from a different point of view. But still a vulnerable feeling and it's still a challenge. So definitely for sure. Those are my challenges for sure.
Hmm. So I want to end on this. You actually perform a lot in the area. You're doing acoustic, you're doing Wildcard, you're doing Grown Ups.
Mhm.
But you're performing at the Finger Lakes Balloon Fest on September 29th, which is a couple weeks away, in Watkins Glen.
Mhm.
Talk to me about how you were able to connect with them.
So it's actually really crazy and random. After I announced I was on The Voice, or it might have been after the first couple of episodes aired, I got a message, an email from my now friend Irene, and she was like, "Hey, we're putting together this music fest in Watkins Glen. It's the first time we're doing it, and it's experimental essentially, and they're like, we really want you to be part of it. We think you would be great on this day, and we're just trying to really support our local musicians and our musicians in upstate New York." And I was like, okay. So they're like, give us a call, her and her partner. And I ended up calling them, and we ended up talking for like 45 minutes to an hour, and we just hit it off. And we ended up having coffee later that week, and we've been friends ever since. And they're the coolest, nicest people, and they're true friends. Like, they want to connect you with whoever they can connect you with. They want to help you in any way that they can do anything. And they helped me with my event. Like the day of my event, they were there from morning to night. They helped me, and they're just incredible people. So it really goes to show you just never know when great people are going to walk into your life. And I'm very fortunate for the people that I've kind of acquired, the friends I've acquired in the last several months of my life. It's been very, very, very cool, and I'm super excited to be a part of their first year, first event, and get on a big stage in Watkins Glen, which is a place I've never performed before, but it's
Mhm.
beautiful. It's the Finger Lakes. There's beautiful wineries there, and I'm hoping to get a whole new little audience that's never seen me play, and hopefully get some new fans.
Definitely. That's so awesome. So, where else can people find you and see you perform live?
Girl, I'm everywhere. I'm telling
I
you.
know you are.
But like not even when I'm performing. I'm just out and about. I'm out and about. I'm all over the place. I'm at the festivals. I'm at the grocery store. I'm everywhere. I'm at the restaurants. I'm at the local shops. I'm always around. I'm incredibly accessible. But if you find me on Instagram, Alyssa Crosby Sings, and Facebook, Alyssa Crosby Sings, I am always posting where I'm playing. I try to do like a whole month in advance. But yeah, my next big event is the Finger Lakes Balloon Fest. And I also have a really special event coming up in October called Sock Out Cancer. It's an incredible foundation. It helps families in need that are going through, the trials and tribulations of cancer. It gives them housing and food and things that they need. While a family member or them are going through a painful experience. But it's an incredible concert. I'm opening up for Kevin Chalfant, who is one of the guys who has filled in for Steve Perry in Journey. So I'm super excited. And that's at the the Broome County Forum here in Binghamton. And I'm super excited about that. That's October 19th. And that's a big special event. That's very, very important to me also.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Amazing. So for the beautiful people that love you and want to support you, how can they support you, Alyssa?
Just follow me and come hang out with me at my shows. And I don't know, buy my merch, wear my merch everywhere, tell people who I am, tell them to come find me, spread the word. Really, honestly, the support is just please come to my shows and hang out with me. And tell other venues that you want to see me play there and get me shows other places, or just put a good word in for me. Like, that's really it. I really just I just love the people that show up to my events. Really, that's important to me.
Mm-hmm. Also, I checked out your merch. Let's just plug your merch right here. Where can people find the merch? It's beautiful and amazing. And if you haven't seen it, you got to check it out. I'm going to put it in the comment sections below.
Okay, I actually have a link. I have to send it to you. I didn't have this prepared.
It's okay. You can send it to me after we're done. But
okay,
yeah,
okay. So there is a link you can purchase merch from, and also physically at my shows, I typically have merch on me. Awesome. I do like a little merch table area, and I also like do little meet and greets there if people want to come hang out and say hey and take a picture and just talk. So yeah, I typically have merch on me, but I also have a link to merch if you want to order it. Yeah, that's it. And I have some new merch coming out because I'm constantly bored of my merch. So I'm always like, I'll just get on Canva and start creating new designs and coming up with new stuff. So there's more stuff coming out.
Love that. And for the holiday season as well. You also mentioned Canva, which some people don't understand the power of Canva. Canva is amazing. You can do Instagram stories, TikToks, graphic designs. If you guys are creative and you're not into Canva, please, please, please. I actually do all Canva from my iPhone. I don't even do it from like desktop.
I do it both. I do my phone and desktop. And I just love that you can take a design that's already there, like a template, but you can take little pieces of it and change everything and add this and add that. So you make it your own thing. So that is what I love about it. I'm like, I can take an idea and then create a whole new vision with it. And I love, 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 love Canva.
So fun.
Yeah. Now that you're watching, I'd love a sponsorship deal with you.
I love Canva too, so I'm so happy that you mentioned it because like I tell everybody I know, like Canva is the best. Like, and if you're creative, anything you need to do in your life, Canva is what you need to look into.
Always. I will always love Canva. It has made me feel like my inner graphic designer is like has a place to go, because I am not a graphic designer, but oh my gosh, I get so inspired when I'm on that on that app, and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm actually creative. I can do things. So it makes me feel special. So it's like, the novice Photoshop.
Definitely. Well, we look forward to seeing the new merch for the holiday season, because the holidays, you guys, are quickly approaching. So if there is an Alyssa fan in your life, please make sure to get that merch, buy tickets to the shows, Finger Lakes Fest, the other fest in October. What was it?
So that's the Sock Out Cancer music.
Sock Out Cancer.
Yeah, Sock Out Cancer concert. Mm-hmm. So that you can get sockoutcancer.org. You can get tickets to that. And then for the Balloon Fest, you can go to balloonfest.us and get passes. And you can actually use Alyssa as a promo code and get 10% off of that. And I'm also working on a promo code for the Suck Out Cancer event also that I will have by Monday.
Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. So before I let you go, do you have any final words for the room?
Thank you guys for hanging out. And thank you so much, Ashley, for having me. It was such a pleasure. And I'm so happy that we got to run into each other a few weeks ago and do this. And it was so cool. This is so great.
Yes, Alyssa, this was so much fun. You are welcome back on my show anytime, and I hope to catch you at one of your shows soon. But before I let you go, I just want to leave with Melissa's comment. It says, I love my Alyssa Crosby merch. Wearing a hoodie right now. Go, Melissa.
Thanks, Melissa. She really is the best. She loves the Alyssa Crosby merch. She's my #1 purchaser of Alyssa Crosby merch.
Love this. She will be very excited when the new merch drops.
Oh my gosh, I hope so.
Alyssa, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for spending your Saturday with me. Peace and blessings to you. And I look forward to being on this journey with you.
Yes, thanks so much, Ashley. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye, guys.